Namaste Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 5, text 45. Matkarana gocharam prapannanang didrukphunang sasmitam te mukhambujang no darsayatmanam asmatkarana gocharam prapannanang didrukphunang sasmitam te mukhambujam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are surrendered unto you. 8. We wish to see you. Please make your original form and smiling lotus fish visible to our eyes and appreciable to our other senses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The devotees are always eager to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His original form, with a smiling lotus-like face. They are not interested in experiencing the impersonal form. Lord has both impersonal and personal features. The impersonalists have no idea of the personal feature of the Lord, but Lord Brahma and the members of his disciplic succession want to see the Lord in his personal form. Without a personal form, there can be no question of a smiling face, which is clearly indicated here by the word Sasmitam te Mukhambujam. Those who are in the Vaishnava Sampradaya of Brahma always want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are eager to realize the Lord's personal feature, not the impersonal feature. As clearly stated here, Asmat Karana Gocharang, the personal feature of the Lord can be directly perceived by our senses. Please. Here one thing is hinted upon here. Brahma says, as Mahajan, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is not impersonal. Is personal, is all beautiful form. Therefore, in this verse, these words clearly indicate Sasmitam te Mukhambujam. That means without a personal form, there can be no question of a smiling face. It's clearly indicated by these words. Those who are in the Vaishnava Sampradaya Brahma always want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are eager to realize Lord's personal feature, not the impersonal feature. As clearly stated here, Asmat Karana Gocharang, personal feature of the Supreme Lord can be directly perceived by our senses. But the senses should be purified senses, spiritual, not material senses. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not a material being. Ishvara Paramakrishna Sajidananda Vigraha Anadirajri Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahma Sangita says clearly. Krishna is Parameswara, is Govinda. He has a form. Satchit Anandamaya Vigraha. It's full of eternality, full of knowledge, and full of pleasure. The form, Vigraha. That means he has that form or body is completely spiritual, not material. It's Sajidananda Vigraha. So, those who possess spiritual vision or spiritual senses, they can see that all beautiful form of the Lord, spiritual form of the Lord. And they can also experience that all beautiful form, a feature of the Lord through their spiritual senses. Otherwise, it will not be possible at all to realize or to experience or see the all beautiful form of the Lord. So it is said here that directly that asmat karana gocharam, personal feature of the Lord, can be directly perceived by our senses. This purport is there. And it's clearly stated here. These impersonalists have no idea of the personal feature of the Lord. But Lord Brahma, members of the disciplic section, want to see the Lord in his personal form. When Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago with supreme authority, who is Krishna himself, from whom the all Vedas come, he came as an ideal acharya, sadhu, mahajan acharya, to teach directly to these conditioned souls. He was doing acharya lila. When he took up sannyas at the age of 24, he was going to Vrindavan, but by the order of his mother, Sochimata, he came to Purushottam Khetra, Nilachal Dham, Puri, Jagannath Dham. At that time, there was a great Pandit of Sankar Sampradaya, his name Sarva Bhattacharya, a great stalwart, Sarva Bhattacharya, great Pandit. He had a great pride that he knows Vedanta. Nobody knows as he. He was Grihastha still, he was teaching the sannyasis Vedanta. He had great pride. So at Puri Dham, Mahaprabhu met that Sarva Bhattacharya. That Sarva Bhattacharya was, was contemporary to Nilambar Chakravarti. You understand? Contemporary to Nilambar Chakravarti. Nilambar, do you know what the Nilambar Chakravarti?
Grandfather of children.
Maternal side, yes. The Nilambar Chakravarti was the grandfather of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from maternal side. So, Sarva Bhattacharya was contemporary to Nilambar Chakravarti. Therefore, this Sarva Bhattacharya developed a filial affection towards Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was very young, 24 years old only, young sannyas. So, according to the opinion of these Sankarites, followers Shankaracharya, a sannyasi should study Vedanta, hear Vedanta, and do meditation. That's sannyasi's duty. And it's not that sannyasi would chant Hare Krishna and dance on the street. So Nilambar Chakravarti told the young sannyasi, Naveen sannyasi, young sannyasi, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, that you are young sannyasi, at a young age you took up sannyas, is very difficult to keep up sannyas in this Kali Yuga, especially in this young age, but difficult. You should hear Vedanta. You understand? That's the duty of sannyasi. The Mahaprabhu, you see, agreed, allied. I'll hear Vedanta from you. I'll become your student. This is Mahaprabhu's motto, you see. Tunadvi sunichina tarori va saisnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sudahari. That's Mahaprabhu's teaching. One should think himself is more insignificant than a blade of straw in the street. It's humility. So, humble person. There is no question. One should not be very puffed up, proud. That's Mahaprabhu's teaching. So he practically demonstrated that in his own life and his teaching. As an humble student, he agreed, yes, I'll hear Vedanta from you. He just posed himself as if he was an ignorant fool. Ignorant student, Murkha Chhatra, posed himself. Because that person, Sarvabhaumacharya, had great pride. He knows Vedanta. Nobody knows Vedanta as he. Though he is Grihastha, he was teaching the sannyasis. So he had such pride. In order to crush his pride, Mahaprabhu posed himself as an innocent student. Innocent student. And as a fool, continuously for 7 days in the campus of Jagannath temple, Sarvabhaumacharya spoke Vedanta. And Mahaprabhu just heard silently. Didn't say anything, continuously. Then on the 7th day, that Sarvabhaumacharya asked him, do you understand what I say? Why don't you put questions and put some argument what I say? Then Mahaprabhu got opportunity to open his mouth. Mahaprabhu said, I could very clearly understand this sutra. Do you understand? Dharmadhyasya tataho shastra jonitva tathat brahma jigyasa. All these tattvas, what you quote, recite, I could very well understand. But your explanation, commentary is very difficult to understand. Sutras I can understand very well. Because all this Vedanta come from Mahaprabhu, Krishna. But your explanation, your commentary is very difficult to understand. Then he became amazed. What is that? You see? What is that? Nobody can understand the sutra, formula, sutra. Therefore, commentary is needed. And you understood the sutra very well. But the commentary is very well. Oh, yes. Because you didn't give the bona fide commentary, right explanation. That's wrong. That's not correct explanation. So, I cannot accept your commentary. I cannot accept. Then Mahaprabhu said, उपनिषद शब्द जो मुख्य अर्थ हो से अर्थ मुख्य व्यास सूत्रे सब कह Vyasdev had compiled. Vyasdev has compiled Vedanta Sutra and he himself has given commentary. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasdev himself has given commentary, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. व्यास सूत्र अर्थ जैसे सूर्यर किरण स्वकल्पित भाष्य में घे करे आच्छादन. You understand? And in Vyas Sutra, in Upanishad or Vedas, there are two types of interpretations. One is Mukhya, another is Gauna. Mukhya means chief, another is secondary. It says Upanishad sabd je mukhya artha hoy, sahi artha mukhya. You understand? Chief commentary and chief explanation, which is chief, that is acceptable. The commentary, secondary commentary and explanation are not acceptable. ব্যাস সূত্র অর্থ দিয়েছে সূর্যের কিরণ কল্পিত ভাস্য মেঘে করে আচ্ছাদন। You understand? Mahaprabhu say the Vyas Sutra is as effulgent as sunshine. But your commentary or your explanation is like a patch of cloud that covers up the effulgent sun. It's your, what is it? Imaginative commentary. It's not authoritative. That is right. Because you are not giving the chief commentary, chief explanation. You give it secondary thing, which is not acceptable. Do you understand? Then Mahaprabhu says, all the Vedas and Vedic literatures, the Puranas, Itihasas, Puranas, all have accepted that Brahma, Ishvara, Supreme Ishvara. And he is Sadishwarjapurna. He is completely full with 6 types of opulences. Sadishwarjapurna, Bhagavan. And he is not impersonal, he is personal. All Vedas have said like this, all personal, it's not impersonal. But you establish it as an impersonal. It's quite wrong, completely wrong. We'll find in Shruti or Vedas that in some places it is described as impersonal. Described as impersonal. But at the end, it is described as is personal. You understand? So, the latest conclusion, what comes at the end, latest conclusion stands. The previous things are cancelled. Do you understand? This is cancelled. That is the principle. Mahaprabhu said, you see, in Shruti or Veda, it is said, apani pado javana grahita pasyati cha chakyu tasmunati cha karna sabeti vedyam natasyasti veta tamavrugram purusam mahantam. Svedasvedar Upanishad says. Many instances are there. Though it says that Brahma has no hands. But it says, has no hands, no legs, no eyes, no ears. But again it says, Pasyati cha chakya shrunati cha karna. So he sees with his eyes. He has no eyes, how he sees. And if he has no ears, shrunati, he hears everything with his ears. And again says no legs, still moves very quickly. There's no hands, still accepts everything. What does it mean? That means that Brahma or Ishvara and no material legs, material hands, material eyes, material ears. It's all spiritual, material. Anti-material is not material. It means is Sajidananda Vigraha, Sarvaiswajya Paripurna Swam Bhagavan, Tarai Nirakar Kari Koro Vakhyam. Is Sarvaiswajya Paripurna, is full, completely full in all sorts of opulences. He has a form, is Sajidananda. But you establish him as formless, void, nirvishes. Quite wrong. जादा श्रुति जल्पति निर्विशेषं सा साविदत्ते सविशेषमेव विचार जोगे सति हंततासां प्रायो बलीय सविशेषमेव. It says, first, the Shruti says about that Brahma is nirvishesha. But at the end, the conclusion, that Shruti says it's Savishesha. It has form. So these are two features of that Brahma, Bhagavan. So, nirvishesha, Savishesha. Impersonal and personal. But this personal tattva is completely understood. Do you understand? It's understood by one and all in the whole world. That impersonal feature is not understood, is not realized. Then he says, Mahaprabhu says, it means one should understand in tattva, that means that Brahma or Bhagavan had no material body or material senses, a spiritual body and spiritual senses. Here it is said in Taittiriya Upanishad that Bahusyam sa Aikyat. When that Bhagavan or Brahma wanted that he will become many, so what he did? Saikyat. Aitariya Upanishad says Saikyat. That means he cast his glance over material nature. He cast his glance over material nature. So it became many. So if he has no eye, then how can he cast his glance? So when he cast his glance, material nature, at that time, there was no material creation at all. Isn't it? No material creation at all. So in other words, there was no material eye or material mind. So the mind in which that Brahma thought of and the eye through which he cast his glance is all spiritual. It's not material at all. You understand? This is what all Vedas say. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami had written that way. Bhagavan bahu aite jabe koilo mano, prakruta sakti tabe koilo bilokon. Sekale nahi janme prakruta mano nayana, oteva prakruta brahmera netra mano. Kaviraj Goswami had mentioned that thing. You understand? Again, Mahaprabhu says, in all the Vedas, in all Puranas, Vedic literatures, it is said clearly that Brahma means Ishvara. Ishvara, Purn, Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna Shastra Praman. Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam Bhagavan is Krishna in all Shastra, in all Vedas. The proof is there. If some may say that it's not clearly stated in Vedas, clearly stated. Therefore, so-called Vedavadis, they say that in Vedas there is no mention of name of Krishna. So they say it is not clearly stated. That's the rest this argument. They argue in this way. You understand? So Mahaprabhu says, it is very difficult to understand Veda. Do you understand? Veda Tatparya is very difficult. It's very confidential. Therefore, later on the Acharyas, the Maharshis, to explain it clearly, they compile Puranas. Do you understand? হ্যাঁ, বেদের নিগুড় অর্থ বুঝানো না হয়, পুরাণ বাক্যে সেই অর্থ কইল নিশ্চয়। চৈতন্য চরিতামৃত কবিরাজ গোস্বামী writes this thing. What is said in Veda, it is very, very confidential. Nobody can understand it. Therefore, to explain it and to understand it clearly, later on the Puranas, they are Vedic literatures, they are compiled. And out of all Puranas and Vedic literatures, Bhagavad Mahapurana is known as Bhagavad Mahapurana, with the essence of all Vedas and Vedanta. Sarva Vedanta Sarangi Bhagavata Ishyate, we say. Bhagavad is the essence of all Vedantas, Sarva Vedanta Sarangi. And is known as Bhagavad Mahapurana. Bhagavad Mahapurana. So, very clearly it is said, Bhagavad Mahapurana. That is in 10th canto. Aho bhagyam nanda gopa brajokasang janmitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. Clearly said. This is the statement given by Brahma. And Brahma's pride was crushed by Lord Krishna. Do you understand? When Brahma stole cowherd boys and calves, he was so proud. Then Krishna crushed his pride. Then Brahma offered prayers. Then he said this thing, one of the verses there. Aho bhagyam nanda gopo brajukasa janmitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. He said, this Nanda Maharaj, all cowherd, men, all the Brajavasis, all the inhabitants of Brajabhumi are very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. You understand? Because this Paramananda Swarupa Purna Brahma, this Purna Brahma Paramananda has become their friend, Mitra. Then what is that? What does it mean? It's Krishna. That Purna Brahma is Krishna. This is what essence of all Vedic literature, Sarva Vedanta Sara, Bhagavatam says very clearly. Do you understand? So what Shruti says, Apanipado Javana Grahita, that means that Brahma has no material hands or material legs or material senses, spiritual, all spiritual senses and spiritual body. This is what Veda says. One should understand in Tattva. It's Tattva. Again, Mahaprabhu said that this Mayavadis, this impersonalis, by their own imaginative commentary, Kalpita Bhashya, imaginative commentary, they established that Brahma is Nirakara, formless. But this is not said in Vedas. Yes, he has form, his Sajidananda Vigraha, and his form is not material, it's completely spiritual. Therefore, the Nirakara means that he has no Prakruta akara, he has no material form. This is the purport of this Nirakara. Nirakara doesn't mean that he has no form at all, no. He has no material form. He has spiritual form, Sajidananda. That is the purport. The right explanation of the word Nirakara, that one should understand it. One should understand it. That Mahaprabhu said. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll find detailed discussion is there. And then Shakti Tattva he discussed. And many things he discussed. Thereby, then he discussed about Omkara, discussed about three tattvas, Samandha Vidheya, Prayojana Tattva, so many things Mahaprabhu discussed. Then at last, the famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, Atma Ramascha Manaya Nirgrantha Purkrami kurvantya hetu kim bhaktin etham bhuto guno hari. That verse came. Mahaprabhu said, you see, that Bhagavad Bhakti is Param Purusartha, and that Supreme Personality of God Krishna is only understood through Bhakti, not by karma, jnana, or yoga. Even the Atmaramas, those who are enjoying soul, Atmaramas, they are also very much attracted towards the lotus feet of Krishna. So Bhagavatam says that. Atmaramasya manayandar granthapi urukrame kurvantya hetu kim bhaktin etham bhuta guna hari. He quoted this verse. Then Bhattacharya, please explain that verse. Mahaprabhu said, you please explain first. That because Bhattacharya is great Pandit. So Bhattacharya explained that verse in 9 different ways. In 9 different ways. You understand? And all his explanations are very scholarly explanations. Because he is Brihaspati avatar. His incarnation Brihaspati. Mahaprabhu says, Bhattacharya jani tumi sakhyat Brihaspati shastra व्याख्या करी थे इच्छे कार नहीं सकते किंतु तुम्ही अर्थ कइले पंडित प्रतिभा यहाँ इस श्लोकेर आछे आर अभिप्राय. Mahaprabhu says that. Mahaprabhu praised Bhattacharya. I know you are incarnation of Brihaspati. So, such great Pandit, stalwart, nobody can explain it in such a scholarly way as you did. But this is not the real purport of this verse. It has different purport. Then Mahaprabhu explained. In 18 different ways. You understand? 18 different ways. And didn't touch the explanation of Sarva Bhattacharya. He explained in 9 different ways. Mahaprabhu explained in 18 different ways and didn't touch it. Thereby he established Shuddha Bhakti Tattva, pure Bhakti Tattva, Sabhisesha Tattva. How? That Brahma, Purna Brahma, Ishwar, Bhagavan as form, spiritual form, is not formless. He established it. And he heard all these things. This is mercy of Mahaprabhu. This is the causeless mercy of Mahaprabhu. Bhattacharya, Sarvabhattacharya heard this thing, becomes amazed. He was amazed. Then he could understand, oh yes, this Sri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself, is Bhagavan. Then he thought of, oh, I have committed a great offense at the lotus feet. Yaho to sakyat Krishna, muino janiya mahaparad kainu garbhito hiya, he said. Is Krishna himself. I couldn't understand, so I have committed great offense at the lotus feet. Then he begged excuse and fell flat at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and begged excuse, and Mahaprabhu got for mercy of Mahaprabhu. So became a dear disciple, I mean, dear devotee of Mahaprabhu. Became Vaishnava. This Mahabharata, unless get the mercy of Mahaprabhu, they cannot be delivered at all. Mahabharati Krishna Paradhi, Mahabharati Bhasya Sunila Sarvanas, Mahaprabhu was giving this caution. Don't listen to Mahabharati commentary. Your bhakti bruti will be completely finished, destroyed. They are great offenders at the lotus feet of Krishna. Because they think themselves Lord. Great offender. They cannot be delivered. The Mahaprabhu must be there. So Mahaprabhu is so merciful. Adhuta Karuna, wonderfully merciful. Wonderfully merciful. So he also saw what is mercy from this Mahabharata. So immediately, that Bhattacharya completely surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. You understand? This great Pandit, scholar, now he's completely became completely purified. His consciousness is now completely purified. By getting Mahaprabhu's causeless mercy and extempore. He uttered 100 verses. Eka sahasroka. Do you understand? Extempore. Extempore. He uttered 100 verses. His famous verses of Bhattacharya. You understand? Sarva Bhattacharya is famous verse. He glorified. And glorification of Mahaprabhu, he uttered 100 verses. You understand? 100 verses. Famous verse. Famous verse. Because of this mercy of Mahaprabhu, he could utter such verses. Otherwise, nobody could utter such verses. This famous verse, 100 verses. Pranamyantam Prabhu Gauro Tava Pade Sadam Brube Sadasayanang Sadhunam Sukhartham me Krupangkuru Sri Radha Krishna Yosevang Sthavayitva Gruhe Gruhe Srimad Sankirtani Gauro Nurtyati Prema Viholi. These are verses. 100 verses. Satakam. It's known as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deva Satakam. 100 verses. Very nice. Sri Srimad Sri Krishna Chaitanya Jagatrane Kakartari Jo Mudhe Bhakti Dinasya Tachyate Narake Dhruvang. He said. Ja Krishna Radha Kunje Vilasa Krutavana Puraha Gadadharena Sanjuktaha Sagaura Vasade Bhuvi. Previously, was Krishna in Kunja, was playing with Radharani, Radha in Vrindavan. Now he is Gaura. Was playing with his brother Gadadhar, Balaram, he is Gaura. He is not Gaura. Sa Gauro Vasati. Now he says, accept it. Getting the mercy of this Mahaprabhu. Juhayang Harinama Sadhana Mohadhara Sadhu Netrayo Sarvangei Pulokadagamo Niravadhi Svedasa Vibhrati Srimad Gauro Hare Pragalabha Madhura Bhakti Pradadani Seva Sri Bradajo Siddhamanugata Nitya Sada Sikhyati. So many verses, 100 verses. Very nice verse of praise. That is the mercy of Srimad Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, this change would not have taken place. Sarva Bhattacharya. Great offender. Prabhupada said in Chaitanya Chandra, Acharya Dharmam Paricharya Vishnu Vicharya Tirthani Vicharya Vedam Vina Gaura Priya Pada Sevang Vedadi Dasprapya Padam Vinam. You understand? Without Gaura Priya Pada Sevang, without the service of a dear devotee, service offered at the lotus feet of a dear devotee of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Gaurapriyadana. You understand? Nobody can understand what Veda says. Vedadi Dusprabhu. You understand? Nobody can understand Veda. Nobody can, in other words, get that frame through which Krishna is bound up. This is not available in Veda. You understand? Vedadi Dusprapya. It's not available in Vedas. Do you understand? Nobody can understand. Without the mercy of Gaurapriyadana, mercy of dear devotee of Gauranga, without, how can one get that mercy? Surrendering oneself into the lotus feet of that Gaurapriyadana and rendering service unto him, then you get mercy, then you can understand. And Sarva Bhattacharya completely surrendered himself and the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He got mercy. Then he could understand, oh yes. Then he utters 100 verses, glorifying God. Otherwise, previously he couldn't understand. His brother-in-law tried his best to make him understand, right? This Sri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself. He is Supreme Personality, but he couldn't understand. Now he understood. This is a complete change, completely transformed. That's the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, nobody can understand. Mayavad is great pain. So they say, impersonal. What is that? Mahaprabhu established this. So he says of that. That's my understand, you see. No formless. How can they understand the spiritual form of the life? Or material consciousness, material vision, material body, material senses. How can understand? Cannot. Though they are great scholars, great pandits, stalwarts, you see. Sarvabhaumacharya, Prakasananda, Saraswati, great scholars, so proficient. Veda still cannot understand the real purport of Veda. Just leaking in their language of mind, just leaking outside this honey bottle. If Veda is like a honey bottle, then they are just leaking the outside of the honey bottle. They have no capacity to open the cork, enter into the bottle and test the real honey. No, just leaking. Just leaking outside the honey. This is my body. How can they understand? Unless they get mercy. Oh, Gauranga or Gaura Priyajana. The devotees of Lord. That says, Vina Gaura Priya Pada Sevang Vedadidus Praptyo Padam Vidanti. Yes, clearly stated. Whatever you may do, you may do. Asarja dharmam parijajya Vishnu. Vicharjya tirthani vicharjya Veda. Vina Gaura Priya Pada Sevang Vedadidus Praptyo Padam Vidanti. You may do whatever you like. You may study Vedas. Become proficient in Vedic knowledge. You may become proficient in Vedic knowledge. You may travel, visit all the tirthas in the world. You may worship Lord Vishnu, offer Sorasopatara Buddha, 16 Puja. You may very strictly follow the principles of dharma in your life. Asarja dharmam. Paricharya Vishnu. Vicharya. Tirthani vicharya Veda. Whatever you do. But Vina Gaura Priya Pada Sevang Vedadidus Prapti. Without the mercy of Gaura Priyajana, the dear devotee of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, you cannot understand the real purport of Veda. So-called Vedantis, Vedavadis, cannot get that frame, you understand, through which the Supreme Lord Krishna is bound. Vedadidus Prapti is not available through Vedic study. No, it's not available through Vedic study. Only available by the mercy of that Vaishnava, Gaura Priyajana, dear devotees of God. Only available. Vedadidus Praptyo Padam Vidanti. Even Brahma cannot have it. From whom Vedas coming out, Veda comes out. Brahmar Durloho Premo Shabhakari Rajan said also. Mahaprabhu offers that fame to one and all which is not available, which is not which Brahma has not obtained. Brahma Dulabh. Even it is one part of Brahma, it is very difficult to get. Mahaprabhu gives that. Instrument. He is so merciful. Wonderfully merciful. Adbhuto Badanya, Adbhuta Karunya, Adbhuta Udaj. Kaviraj Goswami. 3 times he used this word Adbhuta. Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderfully merciful. Wonderfully munificent. Wonderfully magnanimous. He is God. Get his mercy. Then you can understand. Otherwise you cannot understand. Otherwise you cannot understand. Because so-called Vedantis, this Vedantis, knowledge, so-called knowledge of Veda, you see, they're all based on impersonalism, and which is all imaginative. Shankaracharya's commentary on Vedanta Sutra is known as Saririka Bhasya. You understand? That is imaginative commentary. Shankaracharya was incarnation of Shankar, Shiva, you see. He gave imaginative commentary. Because Mahaprabhu had said previously, Shankar dosh nahi. He had no fault. He is Ajñakari. He is just order carrier, a servant of Lord Narayana. And Lord Narayana ordered him, do this, go and do this.